magic and reality collide, an ancient organization has vowed to defend us from unspeakable evil. They are the Legendary Legion.
What?
What?
The League of Highly Gifted Historians.
That's not even close.
The Society of... the Federation of... The Order of the Sun...
No.
The Guardians of the... The Council? They're,
Seriously?
Who are you guys?
We're the Librarians.
Really?
Yep, you got it.
Okay. The Librarians.
With the return of magic to the world, all sorts of odd things are waking up. Don't touch anything! I think you broke Africa.
It's not unusual, it happens every day. No matter what you say, you find it happens all the time.
Chance to save the world every week. I love this job.
The Librarians.
The Librarians came out actually 3 years ago in 2014, and I have actually been meaning to do a video regarding this television series, but I completely forgot about it until Sister Angela in the In Plain Sight Facebook page posted something regarding this TV series, which totally jogged my memory, so I really want to thank her for that. But as you look at even just the poster for this television series, I think you can see that it is very telling. You've got the all-seeing eye of Ra symbolism right in your face there, with the sun symbolism of the rays of the sun, the rays of Nimrod, the sun god all over the place. They've got their slogan as paranormal is their normal. And so we can clearly see that this show already is littered with Illuminati, pagan, sun god, Luciferian symbol right in our faces. There's also 5 of these librarian characters on the cover, so 5 to me denoting the 5th age that is coming very soon. And so as I watched the trailer that you just saw for yourself, this show to me, in my humble opinion, is complete programming to accept paganism, to see the occult as being normal, that these practices are cool, that they alter our realities and bring in beings and all kinds of different kind of entities into our world. So I think this is major programming for what is coming very soon. And as we look at what IMDb says, it's a group of librarians set off on adventures in an effort to save mysterious ancient artifacts. But this show, as you most likely saw yourself from the trailer, is much more than just ancient artifacts. In fact, it says down below that the library has chosen a new group to help safeguard magical cursed artifacts throughout time and around the world. An art historian, thief, mathematician, and a warrior are sent through the doorway. What does this doorway mean? Which I already can gather you're thinking that CERN, opening different dimensions, doorways, spiritual portals, all this kind of thing, which is obviously being shown to help bring back the others whom are protected by the library from the evil recently released. So this is showing that something has been recently released, something is happening in the world, and something has changed. And so what I'm going to show you is a bunch of screenshots that I believe are relevant to what I want to show you. I believe there is tons of imagery here. There is a lot of screenshots actually that I'm going to show you in this video. In fact, the majority of this video will be screenshots. There will be some information from the net as well, but I really want to get into some of these screenshots. You know, it starts off here with the librarians walking toward the light. To me, that signifies right away the light of Lucifer. You're basically already getting a glimpse as to who these librarians are. They are basically the illuminated ones. And speaking of the librarians, Wikipedia has something even to say about this series. We see that the first season is basically about solving impossible mysteries, recover powerful artifacts, and fight against supernatural threats, especially the forces of the Serpent Brotherhood. Serpent Brotherhood. That should make you think of someone just in particular, like, Satan, perhaps. In the second season, they're fighting a greater evil, attempting to use magic to destroy the world in order to remake it more to his liking. So, again, destroying the old world, bringing in the new world by having to, of course, again, kill off everything else. So Moriarty is one of a gray villain generally aligned with Prospero, but is willing to side with the Librarians when it suits his own interests. So then the third season introduces a new villain, Apep, the Egyptian god of chaos. Okay, so really right in our faces, we can see that there is much paganism, luciferianism, occult stuff going on in this particular TV show. And I also find it quite interesting that of the 5 characters, there's one of them that just so happens to be who's played by John Larroquette, and it is later explained that they are both immortal because of a spell Dulaki cast 1,000 years after the fall of Camelot. So we've got Camelot, knight symbolism, King Arthur, all this kind of thing, and I'm actually going to show you why I believe this is yet another reference to the Knights Templar and the Illuminati. But interesting that one of the 5 supposed librarians just happens to be an immortal. So why is that? Because we are going to see later on that he is probably or possibly a fallen angel, possibly a Nephilim, possibly, even as the story says, he was something happened to him a long time ago. So anyways, we've got the Illumined ones, who are most likely who these librarians represent. And interestingly enough, as we hear screaming in the background, you see this 2-horned beast rising. I mean, this is quite in our faces. To me, this is Baphomet, Apollyon, Revelation 9/11 beast, symbolism right in our faces. Already you can see how blatantly the trailer is. It's major beast programming going on here. The next scene we see, talking about obvious stuff. What is that flying off in the distance? It's definitely a dragon. And all this while the narrator says, in a world where magic and reality collide. But, just wait, this gets better and better. And we see the narrator also saying an ancient organization has vowed to defend us. So who's this ancient organization? Again, we see, as the narrator talks about this ancient organization, we see these librarians walking into the light. The illumined ones are going to protect us. So they're touting these librarians as protectors, this ancient organization. Just what do they mean by that? And as we keep going, we see that we get flash the hand of the dragon basically grabbing a piece of earth. So is this ancient organization going to protect us from this, going to protect us from the dragon? We know, as people who follow the word of Yahweh, that the dragon is a direct reference to Lucifer, to Satan. Again, then we get flashed the 2-horned beast, Baal, Nimrod, Baphomet, Shiva, Cernunnos, the beast, whatever you want to call it. This is what we are constantly getting flashed. Already we're seeing this 2-horned beast, we're seeing this dragon. So is the ancient organization going to protect us from this character as well? Is that what we're being told? And yet again, more beast imagery right in our faces. I mean, how obvious can this get? Why is it that tons of our entertainment shows the same kind of imagery? This is no coincidence that we constantly see this Baphomet imagery, we see this dragon imagery, we see this fallen angel imagery. This is no coincidence in most of the media and TV shows, movies, even children's cartoons, and what have you, music videos. We are seeing the same kind of imagery over and over and over again. And now, to get it even more obvious, they keep showing Baal. So why not show more of the dragon? Oh wait, there he is. So they're showing, the dragon in our faces. So this ancient organization is to defend us from unspeakable evil as they flash this dragon. Like, really? So they're going to defend us from these things, the beast, this dragon, that 2-horned beast? I highly doubt that. And of course, one of the librarians, as he's walking by, carries a knight's sword. So to me, what is that code for? I believe it is definitely code for the Knights Templar, yet again playing 2 sides of the same coin. Satan loves to play the good guy and the bad guy. He's all about duality, just as the book of Isaiah says that woe to those who put darkness for light and light for darkness. Of course, Lucifer wants to do just that because Abba Yahweh, he is light. He is pure light. Yeshua is pure light. His spirit is pure light. But Satan wants to be both. He wants to make himself as if he's misunderstood. So I believe that this whole knight sword imagery is yet again the Knights Templar that we have spoken about many times in many videos. The Knights Templar is nothing more than an organization of the Roman Catholic Church, of the Illuminati. They are all serving the same purpose. They are all working for Lucifer and his minions. So these librarians, in my mind, I think we're already being shown who these people really are about. And later on we see a golden box with this blinding light shining over it. Is this perhaps showing the illuminated wisdom of Lucifer? Is this what the librarians use to protect us? The box contains possibly, the power of knowledge, of forbidden knowledge that Lucifer has given these supposed librarians, which are again, in my mind, the illuminated ones. And as we keep going, gee, did I mention the beast with two horns and red eyes yet? I mean, come on, how many times have we already seen this same character in this trailer? Like, it's just extremely, extremely obvious. And another interesting thing I found is as one of the librarians has a backpack with two angry looking eyes on it. So what does that look like to you? I find that when I look closer at this, it strongly resembles the owl, okay, which is a major symbol of the elite, of the Illuminati. We've seen this with the Bohemian Grove and just where the owl comes from. I believe another reason why they love this owl is because this creature is one of the beings that Abba Yahweh created that can see very well in the night. It is nocturnal. It can see things that many other animals and even us humans can't see in the night. So it's kind of a way of showing secret wisdom, secret knowledge. And of course, they just have to put their Moloch symbolism. This is of course a deity that Abba Yahweh commanded Israel not to worship, but of course they did that. And of course the Illuminati and these pagan people, the elites, this is whom they worship. They worship all the deities that Yahweh forbids us to. So yet again, another clue to the secret societies. As we keep going, the dragon I think was feeling a little bit left out there with the constantly the beast getting flashed. So look, the dragon's also showing off that he breathes fire. To me, this could be possibly telling us that the dragon is coming, just as Revelation 12 says, with great rage. When he and his minions, his fallen angels, are finally kicked out of the second heaven and cast to the earth, the Bible says that he is coming with great rage. So possibly that is what we are being shown right there. And then of course we get a shot of our librarians, or this ancient organization that is here to protect humanity. Interesting how the narrator first calls them a legendary legion. And we know that the word legion could possibly be a legion of demons. We know that even Yeshua cast out demons out of a particular person that was living in a graveyard, and he called his name Legion because he said we are many. So funny how these 5 librarians are called Legion. Also there's 5 of them, as we mentioned before. Fifth age I believe is coming very soon. And of course you've got the good old light of Lucifer in the background. So again, I believe that these librarians, or this particular library, could be representing the Masonic Hall, and these librarians are the illumined ones. This is what I believe they're showing here with these supposed librarians. And then, they have this attempt at humor with the narrator not knowing what to call this group. It's all a big joke. I believe that Satan really loves to hide his true intentions behind comedy. I believe that comedy can be used, to dumb people down to accept the agendas of evil. And, we've seen that in so many TV shows. One of the videos I did recently was on Santa Clarita Diet, and even though this can seem so disgusting and very disturbing, eating human body parts, but they have actually made this into a comedy. I mean, you can see Drew Barrymore smiling her face off with all this blood all over the place. They've made this into one big joke, and I even know people in my workplace that think this show is just freaking hilarious. And I say to them, you know what, that show is actually very disgusting. How can you find that funny? But they have no answer for that. They just think it's a comedy. They have been dumbed down like crazy. And this is what I believe Lucifer uses comedy for. And I'm not saying that comedy in general is bad. Obviously, people that have a great sense of humor, I have nothing against that. I love humor myself, but really I believe that in these TV shows and movies that Satan really loves to use humor to dumb down the masses. And as we keep going, one librarian throws up a ball, and look what appears, a giant globe. So, what would a program be without more globe lie programming? We just would not have a movie or a TV show or a music video or a children's cartoon without a reference to the globe, whether it be in our faces or whether it be subtle, some globe sitting off in the distance or something like that. It would just not be the same. And as we keep going, we see how many remember good old John Larroquette from back from the good old Night Court days, but it's revealed later that his character, which is named Jenkins, is an immortal, something that we saw Wikipedia talk about. And then Jenkins says, with the return of magic to the world, all sorts of odd things are waking up. So are we given a cryptic clue yet again for the fifth age that is coming, that things are waking up, something is about to come out up onto this world, and we will see that scripture later on that we have mentioned many times on this channel, which I believe, I might as well bring up right now. Good old Isaiah chapter 13 verse 3, and it says, I give command and I bring them. Giants are coming to fulfill my wrath, rejoicing at the same time and insulting. Again, this is something that we have spoken about many times, that many people don't want to believe that this is actually true, that the fallen angels had relations with the daughters of men and created a race of giants, even though that is what the original Hebrew text says. We need to come to terms with that, and not only this truth, but the fact that they are coming again. Even Ecclesiastes, King Solomon says in Ecclesiastes 1 verse 6 that what has been done before will be done again. There is just nothing new under the sun. So Christians who think that this whole account of giants and Nephilim, they think it's all nonsense. They've been programmed to believe something else, but you can't hide the truth, and no matter how much you suppress it, it is just going to come out. So really, this fifth age is coming exactly as the word of Yahweh says. And next we get this giant white wolf that appears out of nowhere, because they've been talking about magical things are coming out, evil things, whatever, and this looks to be attacking this person. I believe this is another form of Satan. Even Yeshua referred to Satan as a roaring lion, or and a wolf even seeking whom he may devour. Kind of gives you meaning to Little Red Riding Hood with this character, possibly a female character wearing red there. But did you know that the wolf is also another symbol for Apollo, and he can shapeshift and is fitting for the destroyer? We know that Apollo is the son of Zeus, or the sun god, and quite interestingly enough, that Apollo can take some forms. He takes the form of the sun god, but he also takes the form of a wolf. Okay, so quite fitting, kind of gives more meaning now to all of the shape-shifting movies, whether it was Twilight, whether it's movies like Teen Wolf and these other shows depicting werewolves, or even movies like Underworld and showing lichens and all this kind of thing. I believe the wolf and werewolves and shape-shifting is a direct reference to Apollo, which is another reference to Shiva and CERN and all this kind of thing. But the wolf is a direct representation of Apollo, the sun god. One of his forms that he can take is shape-shifting into a wolf. So right away we've got Apollo imagery right in our faces. Later on we see one of the librarians shown battling with a security guard. But do you notice anything odd about the librarian himself? Now, I had to actually slow this down to catch this. I didn't even see it when I was just watching the trailer in normal speed, but he's got a purple eye, okay? Right there, to me, it's showing the mixing of the red and blue. His right arm is different than his left arm. It looks like he was shapeshifting. We were just speaking about the wolf and Apollo shapeshifting. So possibly this guy has some powers. This librarian has some hidden knowledge, and he's able to shapeshift and do this kind of thing. So is he just like this shapeshifter Apollo that we just spoke about? Very, very interesting, especially this purple eye. Again, the mixing of the red and blue, and again, this arm that is just different. I find that quite fascinating, because again, we were just speaking about Apollo and how he can shapeshift into a lion, sorry, not into a lion, into a wolf. And also quite interesting is that Anubis just so happens to be in the ancient Egyptian paganism, one of their gods as well, the god of the underworld. Similar imagery here. Apollo, Anubis, I'm sure could possibly be the same thing. And again, he is a wolf-like kind of creature. Okay, so we know that the Illuminati, the the mystery religions, a lot of their stuff stems from the Egyptian stuff, which of course all goes back to Babel and Nimrod and all that kind of thing. So again, we are being shown the same stuff over and over and over again. And then later on we see another scene, which again, do you find anything odd about this? You know, why is there this film-like substance on the lady's face? Is this possibly depicting peering into another dimension, looking through a dimensional door? Because just as the description said that they go through worlds and doorways to do their work, or as what these librarians do. So again, they've got this forbidden technology, this forbidden knowledge. And then as we go, we see again, we get flashed a gigantic hand that comes across the screen and grabs the front windshield of this vehicle. So yet again, like in so many productions, this is just more conditioning for the masses to accept the return of the Nephilim, exactly like we just mentioned in Isaiah 13 and many other scriptures that confirm that the giants, the Nephilim, are going to return. And so many productions are depicting the same thing, that the giants, the return of the fallen angels. I believe, even as I mentioned before, that evolution is most likely the end game of evolution, is for people to accept that that the giants are back, that they will promote it as people are evolving into something else. But really all it is the same thing that was going on in Genesis 6 with the fallen angels mating with women and creating this race of hybrid beings. So the same kind of programming is going on here to get people ready for what is truly coming. And then we have another comic relief moment with Jenkins as he tells everyone to stop touching everything because they just broke Africa. You know, what hint to what's coming possibly in the destruction of the world? Not just Africa, but many countries are going to be destroyed, or are going to have much destruction going on, depopulation, whatever. But as stated before, comedy is used to distract the person from what's going on. And so this comedic moment, even though it sounds kind of funny what Jenkins says, what's that sitting right there on the cabinet? You know, for those who are awake, you'll know right away this is monarch symbolism, MK Ultra mind control programming going on. I find almost in every movie or TV show that I watch, you will see some kind of butterfly imagery on the wall, or somewhere you'll see even a butterfly just happening to fly by in a certain scene. They love to show this butterfly imagery because they are showing that they are mind controlling the masses. All of this programming that we watch on TV and on the big screen, this is nothing more than propaganda to program the world to accept what is about to happen in this world. And as we keep going, we see Jenkins trying to close the door frantically, like something just been unleashed from another side. I find you've got your good old 88, you know, breaking the veil and the new beginning on here. You've got this, you got these 8-pointed circle right here. You got 8 points on this circle. You've also got the 1111, even though this is actually supposed to be a sword itself, which you'll see later. It looks like the 1111 to me, so the destruction that is coming. And here he's trying to close the door. And I found this scene also quite interesting. People look to be having a jolly old time as they're celebrating what looks to be Christmas. So do you still think this is something to be celebrated? Because if Christmas is actually about the Messiah, then why do we constantly see the devil's people celebrating it? The reason is that it is pagan. It is all about the return of Nimrod, the sun god. It is one of the high days of the pagan calendar. So please wake up to the fact that Christmas has nothing to do with Yeshua. It's all about pagan practices. And the next scene I also find quite interesting, you know, are those dead hands or hands of the dead coming from the other side, or are they just happy to see this person? Interesting how these dead hands that are reaching, they're reaching out of a door, a doorway. Is this more CERN / you know, programming for the abyss? You know, these beings that are being released out of the abyss that are coming very, very soon, quite possibly. Next, we see Jenkins developing some sort of machine that looks like it's in a globe. You know, fallen angel technology, I believe, is possibly being shown here. And now remember that Jenkins is an immortal. It's kind of how they denote him with the white hair. But he is all, so, you know, I would say that he knows all about the forbidden secrets and fallen angel knowledge and technology, all that kind of thing. And I also find it interesting that they had just happened to make this color purple. Again, the mixing of the red and blue to open the third eye. And next we show Jenkins showing off his new device in front of this doorway, like we saw before, that looks to be flipping open. You can see that it's flipping open and about to spin around. So yet again, you got the Knights Templar, the sword, and the womb of Isis. Possibly the circle could represent the womb of Isis that is about to open. So a lot of that imagery going on. And then look what happens as Jenkins flips the switch and the door spins open. You got yet again, crazy bright light of Lucifer, I believe, is coming from the other side. We are blatantly being shown that Lucifer and his band of fallen angels and the Nephilim are coming really, really soon. I believe that this is what is being shown, just as they said that all this magic is being released into the world and things are waking up. Then as the door spins vertically, we see another major sun god imagery on it now. To me, this is a dead giveaway to just whom is behind all of this propaganda. Major black sun symbolism, sun god symbolism. When I see that, I think right away of this, the good old IHS Jesuit logo, the Isis Horus set, and this pagan cross, this Tammuz symbolism, which of course is a representation of the black sun, the dark sun symbolism, the dark, basically the dark one that they worship. And again, this black sun is a completely occult symbol. Okay, it is also referred to as the Sonnenrad, a German for sunreal. It is a symbol of esoteric and occult significance. Its design is based on a sun wheel mosaic incorporated into a floor of Wilsburg Castle during the Nazi era. Today, it also may be used in occult currents of Germanic neo-paganism and all this kind of thing. So really, this is a complete pagan sun god symbol. And this just shows right away that the Jesuits are behind this. People who think that the Jesuits are actually good people, you are very fooled. You have no idea what is truly going on. And I would encourage you to please do some research into the Jesuits, just who they are. In fact, who this Pope is he's also a Jesuit, so do not be fooled. They are evil people and they are programming this world. I believe Hollywood, the Illuminati, the elites, they are all being run by the Jesuit Illuminati, Vatican, Catholic, Rome, whatever you want to call it. They are behind all of this stuff and are preparing the world for the final beast kingdom. And then as the door keeps spinning, we see yet another door, that this door turns into another one, just as the description says. They are opening doors and opening worlds and all this kind of thing. So get ready really from this show for major alternate reality and other worlds programming. And yet again, another door is being shown here as this keeps spinning, so possibly yet another world. This is all happening as Jenkins appears to be spinning this globe. So is this possibly showing that Satan is spinning his lies on this world? Because even like this whole a globe thing, I believe the globe is a big lie, and I'm not trying to knock you if you still believe in the globe. I know we have all grown up with this belief that we live on a spinning ball, but if you really look into what the Bible says of our world, we are truly living under a dome firmament. That's why NASA cannot get to the moon, as they openly admit that they cannot get past low Earth orbit. It's because they cannot get past the firmament, and they never will. Okay, so the second heaven is the abode of Lucifer and his fallen angels, and the third heaven is of course the abode of Yahweh and Yeshua. All right, so this is the kind of world that we truly live in, but they want to make us believe that we live in some globe so that they can have us believe in aliens and different worlds and all this kind of nonsense. So again, he is spinning his lies on all of us. And of course, yet another door that they show, all programming for the masses to eat up about multiple worlds. There's really only a few, but all of these doors remind me of a certain children's movie. Now, those few worlds we just spoke about were right here. Okay, we've got the third heaven, we've got the second heaven, we've got our world, and then we've got Sheol. These are the only worlds that are out there. Okay, but they want us to believe in multiple worlds and the endless space and all this kind of thing, but that's just not true. And as they keep showing these doors, it really reminded me of a children's movie from many years ago. Who can remember, who can even guess the movie that I'm going to bring up? Well, it is Monsters Inc. Now, this was shown many years ago, and of course it was all about these doors that the company Monsters Inc. used to go from the monster world into the human world, so that they can go and, you know, make energy by scaring little children. They would walk through this door. You know, funny that even the light above it is an 8-pointed star, new beginning, star of Ishtar, and of course one of the monsters just happens to be, you know, a one-eyed kind of guy. We know that the two characters, Mike and Sully, you know, very funny, a lot of comedic relief, but, you know, again, how Satan uses comedy to blind the masses. Here you got the monsters peering into the human world. We've got little Boo peering out of the human world into the monster world. So yet again, this doorway that we see, just as what we're being shown here, these doorways, okay, into different worlds. It is the same thing that we have been shown so many times, and the devil just wants people to eat this up, all of these different worlds, when really there's only a few worlds out there. But Yahweh's domain, the domain of Lucifer and his fallen angels in the second heaven, our domain, the earth realm, and right below us, which is Sheol, the grave. All right, that is all that is out there. And then we see, you know, since they're already talking about opening portals to other worlds, why not throw in some magic as well? You know, because we just need to see the full occult spectrum here, don't we? And to me, as we see this light in this girl's hand, this reminds me of the left-hand path and the right-hand path dichotomy, basic duality, and two sides again of the same coin. The right hand actually denotes benevolence or white magic, because again, these librarians are supposedly good guys, are supposedly protectors, and if we look again at the left-hand, right-hand path, we'll see that it refers to a dichotomy between two opposing approaches to magic. This terminology is used in various groups involved in the occult and ceremonial magic. In some definitions, the left-hand path is equated with malicious black magic and the right-hand path with benevolent white magic. Okay, so really, in my opinion, it is just the same kind of nonsense. You know, the left hand, the right hand, black magic, white magic, it's all duality. How the devil loves to mix, again, light with darkness and darkness with light. Even in other circles, they say that the light purifies the dark, but the dark also purifies the light. Okay, major perversion against the word of Yahweh. And as we keep going, I find this hospital scene quite interesting. It looks like a serpent is literally coming out of this book, even with another serpent on the wall here. So are we possibly seeing a depiction of serpent seed doctrine? Are we also possibly being shown that this book is Lucifer's counterfeit for the word of Yahweh? You know, possibly the hidden knowledge of Satan is in this book. And of course, we got the serpent just leaping out of this particular piece of literature. And then as we keep going, you know, guess who shows up in the hospital halls, blazing with light behind him? Good old Baal, Nimrod, the beast himself, right there in our faces. You know, it's fitting that this is a hospital, as Apollo, you know, the same as this beast represents, was supposedly a healer. And did you know that many hospitals are actually named after Apollo? Many of you know that I used to work for a church organization, and I was based out in Chennai, India, and many hospitals out there were actually called Apollo. And I used to find that quite interesting as to why they would name them Apollo, but now I know really that according to the mythology, Apollo was a healer. Again, he's the son of Zeus, the sun god. You've got even the imagery of the eternal flame of Satan's kingdom. You've got the pagan cross of Tammuz, basically who Apollo is, the son of Zeus, as Tammuz is the son of Nimrod. So same kind of thing we're being shown. So funny how this Apollo slash Baal slash Nimrod character shows up in the hospitals, as, you know, again, many hospitals are named after this guy. And then we see the narrator saying, a chance to save the world every week. I love this job, you know, says one of the supposed librarians, as if they're heroes. And that same librarian that we showed before, using her benevolent white magic right hand power, you know, talks of saving the world, you know, as if. Honestly, we're just being shown that these people who are the librarians, or these illuminated ones, they're not going to do anything for this world. The devil's people loves to tout themselves as heroes, as saviors, as helpers of humanity, but they are really anything but that. They are the total opposite. And, you know, then later on, just in case you didn't catch it the first time, here's another reminder of who these librarians truly represent. The Knights Templar, as usual, the supposed good guys, and the illumined ones who are going to save the world. So again, this is just a load of BS. The Knights Templar are just, again, one side of the same coin, the good guy and the bad guy, how Satan loves to play both. So can you now see just whom these librarians represent? I believe you can see it already. I also find it quite interesting, this whole reference to librarians. You'll remember a movie recently called Doctor Strange. There was this particular character who played a librarian in the place that Doctor Strange went to learn from, and he was the keeper of the books of knowledge, and he was a very powerful being. But again, this librarian that is pictured as a person of knowledge, a person of secret knowledge. In fact, we also saw the same kind of reference in the movie The Mummy, as the main character was again shown as a librarian. And of course, interesting that The Mummy was all about the Egyptian mythology and paganism and all that kind of thing, but yet again, depicting a librarian climbing the ladder. Okay, and this librarian slash ladder imagery, I believe, is a big key or hint to the Freemasons, to the Illuminati. The ladder always represents climbing into heaven. They want to believe that they are going to ascend and become like gods, and so the Illuminati, the Freemasons, and all the mystery religions all believe that they are going to be, just as Satan said in the garden to Adam and Eve, the same lie, that you will be as gods. So all of this, forbidden knowledge and wisdom that comes from Lucifer, it is anything but. Even though mankind can think that it's awesome and that they are learning things and that they can do things that others can't, and that the regular people who they call the profane don't know these things, but they believe that they are ascending, they believe that they are elevating themselves to a higher consciousness, but that is just a lie. The lie of Lucifer is just that, to make people believe that they are going to be as gods, when really only Yeshua can give us the saving knowledge of himself, and only through Yeshua will we have the new birth, and will our bodies finally ascend to where it was supposed to be. But they just don't get that. The Illuminati loves to tout themselves as the keepers of knowledge and hidden wisdom, and of course the same library slash ladder reference really is all about them trying to climb into heaven, but they just never will without Yeshua. Even the book of 1 Corinthians talks about the wisdom of this world, how it's foolishness. Right from chapter 3 and verse 18, let no one fool himself. If someone among you thinks he is wise, by this world's standards, let him become foolish, so that he may become really wise. For the wisdom of this world is nonsense as far as God is concerned, inasmuch as the Tanakh says, he traps the wise in their own cleverness. And again, Adonai knows that the thoughts of the wise are worthless. So, we can really see that the word of Yahweh says right from the Apostle Shaul or Apostle Paul, that the wisdom of this world is foolishness. Even all these Illuminati people, these elite devil people who worship Lucifer, even the wisdom of fallen angels, of Lucifer himself, will never amount to what Abba Yahweh can give us, to the wisdom of Yahweh, that it is all foolishness. None of any other wisdom matters compared to the wisdom that only Yahweh can give us. So always remember that. Even, in 1 John verse 4 talks about, dear friends, don't trust every spirit. On the contrary, test the spirits to see whether they are from God, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. Here is how you recognize the Spirit of God. Every spirit which acknowledges that Yeshua the Messiah came as a human being is from God, and every spirit which does not acknowledge Yeshua is not from God. In fact, this is the spirit of the anti-Messiah. You have heard that he is coming. Well, he is here now in the world already. So these Freemasons, this is what they do. Okay, they want to tout their own wisdom, their knowledge, but these spirits, if we're the test of spirits, they will never acknowledge Yeshua as the Messiah. They will acknowledge the anti-Messiah. They will acknowledge the false Messiah, not the true Messiah. So that's what I believe this show, The Librarians, is all about. It is focusing on paganism. It is focusing on making the practices of the occult as normal. They are showing that the fifth age is coming, that magic has been released into the world and all kinds of things are waking up. They are showing that the return of the Nephilim is coming upon this earth, and they want to show as if they are the heroes, that that they are the saviors. The Illuminati, they will never be the saviors of this world. Lucifer will never save you. Even the false Messiah that is coming will not save this world. Only Yeshua HaMashiach is the true savior, the true Messiah of this world. Put your trust in him. As always, do not believe anything that I say. I encourage you to research these things for yourself and come to your own conclusions. But thank you for checking out this video. As always, please be aware of what is being shown to us in plain sight. Abba Yahweh bless you.
Years ago, Judson warned me that a war was coming.
The ultimate battle between good and evil.
So is the ultimate battle coming?
No, sir. It has already begun.
Magic is back. Big time.
Brand new artifacts are being created every day.
I've never seen anything like this.
Big deal. We can handle that, right? No problemo. This is a huge problemo.
A secret group tracking magic? Do you know how ridiculous that sounds? Other than us, I mean?
What could possibly go wrong?
That's happening.
This is more power than I've seen in a very long time.
What's your game?
Let's not argue with Mr. Stabby Fingers right now.
We don't use magic. We're librarians. We use our brains.
More beer! Do you really think you can defeat a god?
A god in an out-of-shape 50-year-old's body? Yeah, I like our chances.
Freeze! Who are you people? What are you doing here?
It's okay. We're the librarians. Oh.